All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It looks like we are live streaming in our We Rise Crew Facebook page. I am super excited, y'all, to get this interview started, and we are not going to waste any time. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Talia Reiser, and we have Miss Leanne Ryan here today. And she and we've been talking a lot recently, and she actually earned a trip when she first started to Florida. And we were just down there together, and we just had some great conversations. And I think that what she has to share today is going to be super, super powerful for those of you who might be feeling like you're at a place in your journey with Modere where you might feel stuck. You might feel overwhelmed. You might feel like you don't know even where to start to begin or to begin again. Or maybe you took a big break and you're back and you want to be back, but you just don't know how to do it. And then, the big thing that Leanne and I really talked about was motivation and where that comes from. And she's got some interesting perspective. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you guys to Miss Leanne and have her share a little bit about how she started here and why she might have looked at Modere to start. And then also more about kind of her journey and where she is now. So it's going to be interview style. We're just going to be asking questions back and forth. And if you guys have specific questions, you can always drop it in the comments and I'll be looking at those while Leanne shares. So Leanne, I would love for you to tell everybody a little bit about you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Leanne Ryan, and I'm from Pennsylvania. And it's like 30 degrees out right now. It's kind of cold considering where we were last week at this time. So my journey is very much probably like a lot of you. I'm a mom. I have three, well, they're men now, 23, 21, and 19-year-old boys. And I was lost. I gained a lot of weight and I was unhealthy. I had no motivation. I had the afternoon slump. You name it, I suffered from it and I needed change. So I was looking through all these weight loss companies because believe me, I've tried them all and I failed at every one of them. And I joined a company that was really helping me. I lost a lot of weight. I was feeling good. I was feeling good about myself. I felt more like not so much a mom anymore, but I felt like Leanne again. And I joined the company to be a social marketer, and I started doing really well. And unfortunately, the company decided that they were going to change the compensation plan just as I was growing in the company, getting my feet wet, having customers. I was able to coach them. I felt confident. And just like that, it kind of ended for me. And I was at a loss. I started overeating again. That's my crutch. I can't get enough double stuffed Oreos sometimes. I hide McFlurries from my husband. And, I realized that I was going into all my bad habits again. And I'm sure a lot of us follow a lot of things on Facebook. There's a lot of self-help people out there. There's a lot of motivational speakers. And there was one person in particular that I would watch her videos on. And I thought, wow, she's awesome. Like she used to call it her 2 cents. And she'd go on for 20 minutes, maybe once a week. And I felt like she offered so much value to my life. And I thought, she's awesome. Whatever she's doing, I want to do. So one day she started talking about this chocolate spoon. And I was like, oh, yeah, right. A chocolate spoon. Like chocolate's going to make you lose weight. Come on, cut me a break. And I know you're all thinking, I've been there. Because who would have thought that a spoonful of chocolate? Well, I listened to her and I called her and I questioned her up and down. And I was scared. First of all, I was scared to trust another company. And secondly, I was scared because I had nothing else to lose. I had gained almost all my weight back. And I thought, why not? I can do anything. I'll do it for 30 days. I could do anything for 30 days. And I started last July. And the weight started coming off. I started feeling better. I was confident again. My kids saw a change in me, and my husband was like, wow, like you're really looking good. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm licking the spoon clean. And then I started adding some more products. And I thought, well, I want to make money. Like, why not? I did it before. I had, a few months underneath my belt of social marketing. I wasn't the best at it, but I thought, why not? It seems like this is a great team. So the person who introduced me to Talia and her team. And I thought, oh my God, who is this Talia? And like, she is just a ball of energy. And she made me want to know everything I could about how to get healthy, about how to make money, and how to do what's best for my family. And that was huge for me because I wasn't a number in a company, and I wasn't worried about, well, if this company fails, I'm going to be alone, because it was a family that I came to. And I don't know if a lot of you feel that way, but I know that I'm part of a family with Modere. And what I love is that we can all be together and we can all talk about stuff. And it doesn't matter that she's my lead person. I can call Whitney, I can call Glenn, I can even reach out to Bryn if I needed to. John Melton, that's kind of fabulous. In my old company, I didn't even know who was above me after a certain point. So I kind of got my butt in gear, and we had this huge sale in August, and it was a buy one, get one free. And I thought, all right, I'm going to go wild on social media. I have nothing to lose. I'm going to just go out there. I'm going to do these spoon posts. I'm going to get these referrals going. Within a month, I was at P1. I hit platinum 1 within a month. And I was like, what? How am I doing this? It was amazing. Second month, I hit platinum. We had this Destin trip incentive, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Destin. I had missed it by the first round by 10 points. Mr. Barron, wherever he is, if he's out there, he beat me by 10 points. I was devastated. And I remember Glenn laughing at me, and he called me and he's like, well, what are you going to do about it? And I said, well, what do you mean? What am I going to do? I lost. He goes, you didn't lose anything. He goes, pull up those big girl pants and get back on it. He's like, you can do this. Next week, I won. So it's easy when you're motivated to do so. I had people pushing me. I had a team behind me. And then platinum 1, platinum. And then the holidays came, and I was getting depressed. My son was going into the Air Force, my youngest. My oldest was starting a new job. He didn't know if he'd be home for Christmas. And I let myself go. I put myself in a bad place, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go and do my thing. And if I get business and it still follows me, that'll be great. It's called inconsistency. My life has been inconsistent for years. And I know what my problem is. And it's lack of motivation. When it was easy for me, when we had a sale, it was easy for me to sell products. I could sell products to anybody, but I could not build a team. And that was really hard because everybody else around me was having 10, 15, 20 social marketers. I had two of them. And one of them is still in the company with me, Tammy, I love you. And, she pushes me and I push her. But I was always thinking, why can't I be that person? Like, why can't I have all these people that Glenn and Talia and Whitney have? And why can't I have that one person that just wants to finally sell products for me that we can work together as a team? And, after I sat back for a little bit, I kept having a pity party even more and more. And I was like, I'm just not meant for this. This isn't for me. I was relying on my team to help build me up when actually I was supposed to be their leader and I was supposed to be the one building them. And it took Bryn to actually private message me and say, yo, girl, hi, don't you rely on anybody but yourself. And once you have confidence in yourself, your team's going to build and it's going to fly. So I vacillated on that for a little bit, thinking, oh, okay, well, she knows what she's talking about. We'll see how it goes. And I just kind of hung out there. I was gold for a while and silver. And then I was building a couple more members. And back in May, I think it was May, we had this amazing social marketer deal that was happening. And it was towards the end of the month. And it was Tim and Bryn and John and Glenn, Talia and Whitney. They were all contributing $10, $50, $100 towards getting social marketers. And I thought, well, this is my time. I want to be D1 and I'm going to do it. So I reached out to everyone that I knew. Talk about being consistent. At that time, I was nonstop. I'm like, listen, guys, even if you don't ever want to sell, this is how I sold it. Like, even if you don't ever want to be a social marketer, you will have the tools and I will help you and my team will help you succeed. You have all the information. Let's just get you signed up at this amazing discount. I pushed the whole $200 in credit because that's huge. People were actually, I think they were paying $5 extra to be a social marketer than if they were just to buy a lean body system with all the incentives that we had going on that month. I hit D1, but I worked my butt off to hit D1. And it was hard. And I'm not going to lie, it was a struggle for me. I'm also a school nurse, so I was working throughout that time. COVID was happening. In the event of everyone else around me was falling apart, my company was thriving and was growing. I had industry shutting down in my town. And here I am, selling products like I was a boss, which, by the way, I was a boss and I still am, but we'll talk about that next. So I did it. I hit D1. I just missed platinum that month as well. But the other thing I also missed was I missed doing our social event that we had that was supposed to be in Utah, and it went on to be an online event. I was devastated. And Talia knows, I called her crying. I was devastated that I did not make that as a leader because I felt like I earned it. Tammy, my social marketer underneath me, she made it. I pushed her and she did it, and she had the best time attending that live event. And here I was, I couldn't get past it. And Talia said to me, it's inconsistency. Your inconsistency is the reason why you right now are feeling sorry for yourself. I had no one else to blame but myself. Is that right, Talia?
Well, I mean, I've been there. That's exactly why it took me so long. I had to get to a point where I realized I wasn't showing up and doing the daily things. And if you're not showing up and doing the daily things, even just small things, it doesn't have to be like psycho crazy. Like we went, when you hit D1 and you're just, like that's not realistic for most people. But absolutely it is, I realized in my own personal business is lack of consistency. And that consistency for me, and I don't know if you feel the same, actually helped to motivate me, because the more consistent I was, the more people I started talking to and the more exciting things started to happen. So that I would love for you, to continue on, but really talk about what happened that made you retreat, like when you went into hibernation and that whole journey, because this is, I think you're about to touch on that.
Yep. So I had a pity party, and I'm really good at having pity parties, and I sunk into depression. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt that I let my team down. I wasn't the leader that I needed to be. Now, Matt, just so you know, for 30 years, I've been an RN. I have my master's degree. So it's not like I don't lead every day at my job. I couldn't lead in a social marketing platform because I felt like I was too inconsistent to follow through with the tools. I did nothing all summer long. As a matter of fact, my social marketers that signed up with me when I was D1, a lot of them returned their products. I wound up going into the negatives as far as any bonuses or any daily pays. And I really sulked, and I was angry. And I was angry at myself, but I was angry at Modere, and it wasn't Modere's fault. They were doing what they needed to do. And here I went again. I realized I was falling into that same trap. I was gaining my weight back. I was feeling sorry for myself. I was taking that afternoon nap that I stopped doing. I was eating horribly all over again. I wasn't licking my spoon clean. And these are the things that I instilled into myself for months and months and months. I said I was never going to be over 200 pounds again. And I was stepping on the scale, and there it was. I was seeing those numbers, and I did it to myself. And, it was a rough summer. It really was rough. I was worried about coming back to school with COVID. I was worried about, am I going to even have a job to come back to? Are they going to open up school? I was worried about my children who all have jobs. They're out of the state. I worried about them. And it took me a long, hard look at me to take a step back and say, Leanne, the biggest issue is you. And I needed to reinvent myself to realize that it was going to be okay. So for all of you that think that it's not okay to quit or that you're a failure, you're truly not. You need to find out what it's going to take to motivate you to get back on track. And it took me hitting bottom, not once, but twice within 6 months to realize that it's okay. And, I won that Destin trip and I wasn't going to go to it. And this is true. When we finally had it rescheduled, and it was, we found out like maybe a month before, three weeks even before we were supposed to go. And the beginning of October, I didn't even look at plane tickets. I'm like, why am I going to go? I'm not earning 6 figures. I'm not platinum. I don't even hit bronze. Why would I even want to go and subject myself to all these people that are so successful? And then I realized I was doing it for a third time. I was putting myself down, thinking I wasn't good enough to be a part of that. And my husband's like, oh, damn, no, you earned that trip. You're going. And he helped me pack my bags and shoved me out the door. And I am so glad I did. And you know what? They all respected my time, because when I got there, I was kind of quiet on Tuesday. I only knew Talia. I didn't even know the guests who were hosting us. I never met them before. And Wednesday we were at the beach, and I spent a lot of time by myself, just kind of taking it all in and thinking about my life and realizing I have all the tools. They have taught me everything I needed to do to be successful. I was the one holding myself back. And when I would listen to conversations of people behind me who were successful, there were 8 of us that went, and all of them are doing super well. These are their jobs. These are their full-time jobs working for Modere. Why couldn't it be me? And that's when I started getting angry, thinking all these months I kind of slacked, and I put myself in a different level than I should have, because I deserve it as much as Talia, as much as anybody else that was on that trip. I earned the trip. I was there on my own accord. So why can't I do it again? Why can't I earn the next trip and Glenn's next trip and this and that? It's my time. But it took me some really hard time on myself to realize that it's okay. And I didn't fail. I just took a break. And that's huge when you realize that you're really not a failure, and that it's okay just to kind of sit back and be like, I'm not ready mentally for it. And mentally, I'm here now. So Talia, we had a challenge, and it was, while we were at Destin, if somebody was able to sign up a social marketer, we were going to get a one-on-one with Ray Hutchins. And I was like, oh, I want that. I listen to him all the time. I listen to the value that he gives to Talia. I'm like, I want that. So I did what I do best. I called somebody, and I called another person, and I called another person on our 15-minute, what do you call that? Our 15-minute.
So Leanne and I, we sat down, and I've been doing this thing lately. And you guys, if you remember last Friday, I kind of popped them in there. It was the Friday before last. And, we can totally do more of these. Just 15 minutes. I called it a 15-minute blitz. And she and I just set a timer, and for 15 minutes, we sent out messages. We didn't respond to people. We didn't coach anybody. And, it takes a little practice, because sometimes it's easy to get like squirrel and distracted. But yeah, all we did was sit there together, and we just popped out messages. And in that 15-minute time, I think it was like 5 minutes into it, Leanne's like, oh, I think I have somebody that wants to sign up. And I'm like, Leanne, you're not supposed to be responding to anybody. She's like, yeah, she wants to sign up. And I'm like, already? Like, you're kicking my butt. We just started this. And so, the fun thing was, I think at that point I had announced the training with Ray Higdon. So Leanne's sitting there, she's enrolling a social marketer, and she's earned her spot already on the private Ray Higdon training. And that's really cool, because there's so much value in everything that you've said so far, and I'm going to let you continue here. But, I feel like I have spent a lot of time beating myself up too. And, Leanne and I sat on that beach after she had some personal time by herself, and we talked. And, it's funny, because we spend so much time beating ourselves up when we could, we'll spend 4 hours beating ourselves up when we could have taken 4 hours to do something productive. And, if you feel like, there's been times where I'm like, oh, I have to tell myself how bad I am. And I maybe need to schedule that for a later time. Like maybe from like 2:45 to 3 o'clock every day, I'll just beat the crap out of myself and be like, you suck, Talia, you're terrible. You're a horrible leader. Nobody likes you. And then 3 o'clock rolls around. Okay, I'm back to it. You know, if you really want to waste time and slow yourself down, beat yourself up, because that's exactly what I did for a long time. And I know, Leanne, that's what you did. And I kept telling you when we were sitting there, I'm like, man, you and I have both wasted a lot of time doubting ourselves when we could have just been doing some simple stuff and kicking massive butt. So as far as like, I really want to know, like, overcoming all of this, like, do you remember a defining moment? Was it when you were sitting at the beach where you were like, there's nothing that separates me from them. It's just the activity and the consistency. That's the only thing. Like, was it in that moment, or was there another time where you really like started to think about that?
Well, you know, even though I wasn't in the business 100%, I was still following everything. So all of our group chats and whatnot. And one of the big things that I learned from Bryn is gratitude. And she always says you start the day with gratitude. And I was like, oh, that's bullshit. There's no way I have time to worry about that. And you know, I started doing it. I started just waking up being positive. I was so tired of feeling negative all the time and feeling bad for myself. And, oh, woe is me. And they're making 6 figures and I can't even get $150 and I'm not even making bronze. It was on me. It wasn't anybody's reason for it. Hi, Matt.
He's totally trying to sneak in. Why don't you just come say hi, honey? So we have a joke, y'all, and this is like a version from this actual training that Matt and Leanne have a thing, and I allow it. Because it's only through the internet.
Oh, how you doing, Miss Lady?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
All right, we're on a very
now that we're on to see you today.
We're on a very goodbye, Matthew Reiser.
Bye, Matt. I'm busy now. Sorry.
Please come to Arkansas.
Next trip. And you know, I started taking some time just to be grateful for what I do have. I have healthy boys. They may not be in my household, but they're great. I've been married 28 years. We have a great house. I've got a great job. But I kept selling myself short and I couldn't figure out why. On that beach, listening to these people who were making the money, one of the girls, she was an RN and she quit her job and she's doing this full time. I'm like, damn. And instead of getting jealous, I was getting intentionally pissed, because if they can do it, why can't I do it? It was about time I became intentional with myself. And it was like a aha moment right then and there at the beach. And Talia sat her booty right down next to me. And she's like, what's up, girl? And I just vomited up the mouth and let her have it all. And it was my time. It was my time to say, enough, I'm done. I'm rebuilding. I'm not stopping, because I'm tired of quitting. I'm tired of being that person that doesn't follow through. I want to be that leader for my team. I have the tools. I have people that believe in me. So why not me? Why not? And, you know, being grateful instead of always being a naysayer is absolutely huge in any business, but it just absolutely turns your life around when you start believing in yourself. And that's what I needed to do. I needed to start believing in me.
Oh, Leanne, I love that so much. And I totally 1,000% believe in you. And I think that everything that you have said, you know, I've felt personally, and I know there's a lot of people on this team who felt like maybe I've been away for too long and it's too late, and it's never too late. Like literally, you ask me, you're like, what do I need to do to restart? What do I need to do? And I'm like, you just got to keep, you just have to do the simple stuff that
Back to basics
every day. And so when you during our blitz, or our 15 minutes, when you reached out to somebody about, you know, how we make money, and there's a lot of people on here where you don't have to build a team. That's the great thing.
I didn't have a team the first time around. I won Destin without a team.
Just customers alone. So
Yep.
if doing that side of the business is not your thing, that's totally fine. But in that 15 minutes, we did intentionally send some messages out about, getting some people, on our teams and wanting to help teach people how we make money. And that was part of that Ray Higdon, like earn your spot on the Zoom training. And then, maybe earn your spot in Top Earner Club with me for 30 days, which is that $2,400 value. So, we had that, but during that 15 minutes, like what were you doing, or how did you talk to your friend who's now on our team?
Well, at first I reached out to my friend groups that I had not reached out to in like a few months. So, I had a few people that were like, not now, maybe later, but then I never reached out to them. So I thought, well, she's giving me 15 minutes. I'm just going to do it. And she was my social marketer now, was one of the people on my chicken list. She was one of the people that was like, oh, I can't be bothered with it. I just want the product. And I thought, you know what? I'm using the incentive. I'm going to say it's $30 off. Let's get you signed up. This is the time. Or you can go with the $199 package, but this is what you're missing out on. And she jumped right on it. But please don't think within that time, I didn't have like 5 no's. And I'm a knower. I go for the no because you cross them off the list. When I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, she said no. What am I going to do? I can never look at her in a supermarket again. Now I'm like, yo, hey, what's up? Because I want them to see me succeed. And they will see that on Facebook. And, and they saw me fail on Facebook, and it's all okay. It's all okay. I'm relaunching tonight at 7. There's certain time frames that we do this stuff at, and tonight's my night that I'm going to say, hey, I'm back on it again. And you know what? It's okay, because we're real. We're human. It's okay for people to see us stop and start and reinvent ourselves. And you know what? It's also okay to let people know it just wasn't your time mentally. And that's okay too. It's always okay to take a mental health break.
Yep. And I couldn't agree more. The more vulnerable I became, the more people started responding to me, and the more people started watching my Facebook when I was sharing things that I was struggling with, or trying to grow, and not always sharing the rainbows and the butterflies. So I'm excited for you tonight to do that with your Facebook community, because we just had the Destin trip and it ended, and Leanne hasn't relaunched yet, but she's been messaging, so she hasn't been out with it on her Facebook page, but I think it's going to take on a whole new life. And I'm just so inspired. And that in that 15 minutes, you proved to yourself in that 15 minutes, and a yes in 15 minutes isn't, the typical, but the fact that I think we counted up how many messages we sent, and you sent over how many messages in that?
It was probably, I think I did at least 16 messages, but you yelled at me because I was also answering. I was so excited. I was like, I got one. I'm so excited. And you were like, Leanne, you're not focusing.
And what did I say? I said, you know what? We sent more messages in 15 minutes than I sent, maybe like several months this summer.
Yeah.
And if we can just set a timer for that time frame and send those messages out. And to think that you came, and I was just so impressed with the fact that you did come, and being around, a lot of times I think being around people who are just in a different mind frame, kind of subconsciously, getting around those people, being plugged into a positive community does rub off and have a really great effect on you. And, that with that, and is little intentional time with your crazy busy schedule, that you can see movement, even if it is a no, people are responding to you. And that kind of, I don't know, that always excites me, regardless of what they have to say, just not having any expectation and showing up and doing it. The simple message, I think, what did we send? It was like, hey, I don't know if I realize I haven't reached out to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was
what I do to make money on social media. It may not be your cup of tea. Would you be open to taking a look? If not, like, no big deal. Like, that was the message that we sent. It was super quick and short. And
copy paste.
Yeah. And I just can't believe that there were, I think it's inspirational to hear that story, knowing that there were times where you were on the verge of quitting,
Mhm.
or not wanting to do this anymore, just throwing your hands up in the air, and here you are and about to get a private training, with Ray, and you've got, you just have so much momentum, and that is creating the motivation. So I'm just grateful for you and grateful that you were willing to share with us today.
Thank you for believing in me, because you never once quit. She would send me messages throughout the summer. Glenn would as well, like, hey, how are you? And sometimes I'd answer her, and sometimes I wasn't good and I didn't answer her. And, it's not fair to her, because Talia was taking her time out of her busy schedule to say, yo, I'm just thinking of you. Are you okay? And, that's inspirational, because she doesn't have to be that person, but she chooses to because she cares. And to me, I can't be on any better team than that. Thank you.
I love it. I love it so much. And we do. And that's the most important thing, I think, at the end of the day. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you are in your life, we're not going to bug you, but we're always here, and we're not going to judge you with what you're going through. My thing is, I didn't send those messages to you and get frustrated that you didn't respond. I just wanted you to know that I was there, whether you responded or not. And that's just the love that I have for everybody here. And I know you're that way too. And I just pray that we can be that for each other and for everyone on this team at any point in their journey. So, okay. Last thing, let's come up with a good question. If you had somebody that was in your shoes that was about to quit, and you could give them one piece of advice, like one thing to actually do, like an action step, what would be the one thing that you would tell them to do, like today?
Honestly, take 15 minutes and reach out to your list, because, and Talia, like, I don't think she believed I was going to do it that day. I was on vacation, but I still had some work I was doing. And she's like, well, if you want to join us, you can, but I'm not pushing you. It's okay. And I thought, screw it. I have nothing to lose. I'm at 15 minutes. I can give her 15 minutes. And I had no expectation. And I think sometimes when we set the bar too high, that's when we get disappointed. And I went in there just reaching at people that I haven't talked to in months. And I was out of my comfort zone. I haven't done it in months. And there I was. And I was getting responses. I had 2 other people that I used to order product, decided to order product that day. I had the SM, and then I had my 4 no's, and I was like, that's a good 15 minutes well spent. If you feel like you're going to quit and you feel like it's not for you, reach out to someone too. Because I've talked one-on-one with Talia and Glenn at length, and they're there for you. I'm here for you. This is what I want you to take away from this. It's okay. It's okay to feel like you're not going to make it. It's normal. We're moms, we're dads in this crazy 2020 world. Number 2, it's okay to talk to somebody. You're not in it alone ever. If it's just that you're having a bad day, you don't know what to do with the social marketer, you don't know how to close a deal, talk to us. That's what we're here for. And I'm just relaunching, but I've been in this business for a while now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. And number 3, it's okay to say, I need a break. What's not okay is to walk away and feel like you're not good enough, because you're always good enough. You have to start believing in that. And that's just a self-confidence thing. And once you start believing in yourself, it opens up so many doors and avenues. And that's one thing that I learned on the beach with Talia, that she comes off so confident, and she's human, just like we all are. And it's okay. Like, she has bad days too. And I know you don't see it, because Lord knows I never see it, but she's genuine. And that's what makes this team so awesome to be on. It really is.
Well, I love you, Leanne. You know that. And I so enjoyed our time together. And like she said, we're always here. We're not going to hound you down and be like, why are you not working? What are you doing with your life? Like, I will never, ever be that person. Listen, I came from a company that was like that, and I will never, ever do that to people. And we love you no matter what you do here. If you just hang out and watch a Facebook Live and say good job to somebody, we love you. Like, if you have 15 billion customers like Deidre, then we love you.
Yeah, girl. You're amazing.
We love you just the same. But Leanne, you shared some really, really powerful stuff. And yeah, you're right. We all do have bad days. There's tons of struggle. And if anyone can learn anything from you, it's that it's completely possible. You just have to decide that you're going to do it.
Correct. And be consistent.
Yeah. And when you felt it the least,
you have to show up.
Like,
I know.
you just did it when you were like, I don't even want to do this, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to be pissed off about it. But
I was pissed off. I was like, I was drinking coffee. I was thinking about the beach and I'm like, oh, tell yeah. But I'm going to do it because I'm a team player like that. Yeah. And I sat there and I was like on my phone, like you could hear my nails going off of it. And then I was like, oh, look at this. She's like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be responding. And then I got even more angry with her because she was scolding me during my 15 minutes. So it's all good.
We had fun and I'm excited. I'm actually going to be doing some more of those. So keep your eyes peeled here in the team page. I'll drop those announcements of when I'm going to hop on some of those 15 minutes. So if you're feeling like you don't know what to say to people and you need somebody to like be there with you while you're doing it, 15 minutes can bring people back to life. 15 minutes can change how you feel about everything here. And it's absolutely incredible. And then if you enroll that social marketer, you get that training with Ray. If you're the top enroller, you're going to get that 30 days in Top Earner Club with me. And that ends at the end of the month. So I love you, Leanne. Hashtag value if you guys got some value out of this. Yeah. All right. And y'all drop some hearts and some likes and some love for Leanne for coming on here and just being raw and real, because that's what it takes in this business. And she didn't have to take her time to do this for us. And that's just massive, massive value. And we love and appreciate you. And I'm going to go ahead and end this live. And if you guys have any questions for Leanne, just drop them down below. We'll definitely be paying attention, and we'll get all your questions answered. So love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.